What's up, everyone? This is DYANAROZAY. Welcome to my channel. Come on in, you guys. How are you? How is everybody? Come on in. Little buddy is in the building. That's for little buddy is absolutely in the building. Come on in. All right. I see you guys. What is up? Thank y'all for joining me tonight. Following this episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, we are about to do an open panel review. Thank you to all of the moderators who are showing in the chat. Anyone you see with a blue wrench behind their name, they are here to make sure you have a good time in the chat, okay? Hey, welcome. Go ahead and shout out your city so I can do the roll call, and then we will get started, you guys. Little buddy is in the building. Whose idea was this? Which one of those babies drew the stick figure and said it was Martell? I forgot which one. I don't know if it was Sugar Mama or the other one. Who's the one who likes to dance all the time? Hey, Little Rock, what's up? Philadelphia, Indianapolis, what is up? Little Rock, hey, Houston, Baltimore. Come on in. Welcome. Thank you, guys. I actually was looking. Look at how Martell has his arms thrown behind his back like George Jefferson or something. And Melody looked like she's holding his hand. She's like taller than him. What's up, Melbourne? Let's see. Hey. Let's see who else is in the house. Bear, Delaware. Jackson is here. Texas, Mobile, Alabama. Montgomery, Alabama. Welcome. Georgia's in the house. Welcome. All right, y'all. We are about to get it started. Let me make sure I have my notebook. I don't have my notebook. Hold on. Okay. Y'all know I have to take my little notes because I don't have, my memory isn't what it used to be. Okay, everyone's coming in. Hey, Milwaukee and Nashville, Tennessee. Welcome. All right, y'all, we're going to get it started. How are you guys doing? Okay, so let me push this back a little bit. Way too much going on up here. Okay, y'all, listen. This was an okay episode 2. The Fletchers are coming in hot. Oh my God. Listen, I don't know. The Fletchers might be too big for Love and Marriage Huntsville. I am liking what I see. I love that the family was so honest with their dynamics and their story. Lexi, listen, everybody knows a Lexi child. You have really big families, and there's always someone whose memories of their childhood, of the family experience is completely different from everybody else's. If this isn't honest, I don't know what is. I mean, like, I was literally sitting there like, oh my God, like, who doesn't relate? The Fletchers are straight up coming through. Seriously, it was like they didn't know the cameras were there. At one point, old dude got up. I think his name is it Luke or Lance? He got up. He said, I'm going to get a shot because I already know what's about to happen. He actually has mannerisms that's very similar to Chris Fletcher. So like the one who had his finger on his head like this, he was sitting at the very end of the table. His mannerisms, even how he speaks, his cadence is very much like Chris Fletcher. But yeah, pay your brother his money, child. It don't matter if he was sitting on the back of the truck. If he went to work, you owe him that money. Give him the money. That was wrong. Y'all keep coming in. 175 of you are showing up in the chat. Go ahead and hit the like button. You do have to be a subscriber for at the very minimum 5 minutes in order to type into the chat. Okay, we just want to make sure that we keep everybody honest over here. Nobody's playing any games. So keep on going. Yes, it is Neil Fletcher's son. But they all came in, like she said, they were babies when her and Chris met. So they're both their parents. But Chris is going to have a little tender moment with Chris Jr. next week. But for sure, listen, it was amazing. Now, this is not the official review. This is the official sister review will be separate from this one. This is just open panel. I'm going to set up some of the scenes that we had for this episode, and then you guys can talk to me about it. And I'm going to read some of your comments, of course. Someone said Lexi has issues. Her mother was most likely and still is. That is why she act like that. There's no way she would have invited me to her back. So shaking my head. Well, Lexi's a grown woman with a husband. That was a scene though, for sure. But at one point, like all of the people, everybody was like letting the F-bombs fly, including Chris, who at the end, I mean, like, let's just say, like Lexi sitting at the table and saying, my experience is different from all of you. I wasn't invited to any of the vacations and whatever you guys have going on. It's like she is a child that's just not remembered. And then everybody at the table, mostly even her siblings, are like, that's not true. That's not true. You were invited. And, you know, all of them saying, you didn't even invite us to your wedding, but we just like band together and said, we're coming anyway. And notice her husband, child, greens or no greens, he knew to shut the hell up. He did not speak a word. In fact, I almost felt like he wanted to disappear. When Lexi jumped up out of the seat, when Lexi jumped out of the seat to go get her purse, I was like, you gonna get up too, bro? You know you're supposed to be right behind her. Oh, there was a little hesitation, like, damn it, I did not want to do this. But yes, he ended up getting up and walking out. I was hoping so. I was like, I don't know how long it's going to take you to get up out that chair, but you better figure it out fast, because if Lexi get in the car without you, she going to drive off. Okay. I'm going to let y'all come up and share your thoughts in just a moment. But Lexi is, she's an interesting person, that Lexi. But the rest of the kids too, at the same, token, you can just tell that Nell is in a place where she's fed up. Chris seems like he's trying to be the mediator, at least at the table. But when he goes outside to speak to his daughter, she is still saying to him, you weren't there for me. You've never been there for me. And, he's telling her that's not true. That's your perception, which if it's her perception, she can't come from any place else except her perception. So they definitely need counseling at this point. But he's trying to tell her that her perception is inaccurate. Then he gets frustrated and he was like, get the F on. Get the F on. Go. But I'm going to tell you something. This was gangster to me. When Chris walks out the house, and they're about to pull off and he puts his finger up and go like this, I was like, uh-oh, that's some Malcolm X shit. When Malcolm X put his hand and was like, pointed, let's go. You stop that car right now. Don't even move. He just pointed like, stop. And old dude stopped the car. I was like, okay, well, I'll tell you what. He still has a little power over the family. You just can't say and do whatever. Once he walks outside, everybody stops. I appreciated that. Jed said he gonna finish his green beans and tomatoes, child. He didn't even get to wrap it up. Okay. That was hilarious. I kid you not. That was hilarious. But I'm interested in hearing what you guys have to say about it. A lot of you are popping off in the chat. 285 of you are watching. Please hit the like button, of course. And then also, if you want to join the chat, you have to be a subscriber. Just an FYI, okay? All right, so next scene was Stormy. So I talked about it. I couldn't get them pulled up, but this is a Chris Fletcher scene. I don't know all the kids' names yet, just Lexi, Chris Jr., and I believe it's Lance. I forgot the other young lady's name. But the next scene is Stormy and her husband, Courtney. These two, they are basically talking about the meeting that Stormy has called for. She's asking for a mediation, right? A mediation between Kiki and Tiffany. She said these two are at it, and she's afraid of what Kiki might do to Tiffany. So she really wants them to squash the beef. She said that she believes they can be friends, but right now she feels like Tiffany is the one who is being super duper aggressive and continuing to poke the bear, is how she put it. She was like, I don't want to see anything happen to either one of them, but Kiki is definitely, or excuse me, Tiffany is definitely poking the bear. And then they get into a little bit more of her business situation. It's really hard to follow because she's kind of speaking in a circle to me, but basically she's saying that she had some employees and it sounded like maybe they were family. The family employees took advantage of her business by, I guess, signing her name to something. And even though they had a stellar 2020, is how she put it, $40 million business in 2020, it looks like they could have lost it all, or the threat to lose it all came 2 years later. And she was like, I really didn't know anything about hiring, firing, didn't matter what was going on at that company. She tried to, keep everybody around. And she said now that they are in their 2.0 season, she's learned some hard lessons and she is ready to move forward. Okay. She's ready to move forward and do what she has to do. They're not going to play those games anymore with any of the family members. And if they don't work out, they don't work out. And that's when Courtney said, well, just an FYI, I done brought Junior back. We remember Junior, the cousin, that's Stormy's favorite cousin. Thank you, Judy, for becoming a member. I appreciate you. Welcome to the Supreme Squad. But yeah, she ended up saying, he was like, well, just by the way, I have invited Junior to come back and work for us. So that's good. I'm glad to see Junior's back. I know he had a little bit of, a hard time, and I didn't think that they let him go. I didn't think it was fair that they let him go anyway. But it looks like he's back. He's working for him. And that would explain why they are doing a lot of the stuff in-house. Because once you get those type of contracts with the stores, I think they all should just be shipped out. But I'm not sure. Maybe this is a Black Titanic question, because I know she went over to the warehouse, but I want to know how much stuff they're holding in that warehouse and how big it is if they're doing distribution to the store. Because it still feels like there's not enough people that they have working for them if that's the case. But she said that this is a process that she is learning. So I appreciate at least some of that. If you guys have any more insight in what you think she was talking about, let me know. But it sounds like she said a $40 million company may have almost tanked. They've pulled it back out of the water, is how she made it seem. I just don't know how they ended up losing so much, and how much exactly did they lose, where the house was on the line. She has that big farm, beautiful property. It's a lot. Anyway, moving to the next one, child. Let's get to Little Buddy and Little Buddy's brother. Okay, that's Martell and what's his name, Montez, I believe. These two were moving. He also had asked some of his uncles to help him move out of that house that Chris had allowed him to stay in for way longer than he was supposed to. The actual producers gave us a clip and they was like, yeah, he was supposed to have been out of here. He was told 8 months ago that he needed to pack his bags and leave. So that's how long Martell had taken advantage of Chris and his generosity and whoever the homeowners were. That just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but child, he did it. And clearly Chris is the type of person who, he's pretty reserved until he's not. Okay, so I don't know what the hell Martell is up to, but he don't want to push that button. Does she manufacture and distribute? I don't know. I really don't know. That's why I was like, I'm gonna have to maybe send a message to Black Titanic, because I didn't know that. I thought it was just distribution. However, anyway, let's see. Hey, everybody, keep coming on in. 351 of you are watching. Make sure that you hit the like button. If you'd like to be a part of the chat, you have to be a subscriber for at least 5 minutes. Okay. And yeah, he ends up having that conversation with Chris. Chris also, lightly asked him, what was going on between you and my wife. I don't play that, but really he was just happy as hell that he was out the house. So that was where his major focus was. Martell also said that he was going to get some eye surgery. He said that it's been bothering him for a while, and he ended up saying that it was going to take him a little time to recover, but he was doing his eyes, no exercise, would not be able to move at that point. But yeah, I guess he does not like the way he comes across on television. So he let everybody know he getting his eyes did. Okay. Welcome, 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 everybody. Keep coming on in. Keep coming in. Okay. Now we just finished discussing Martell. Now let's talk Melody and her best friend since college, Brittany. Okay. These two came on the scene, and Brittany is helping Melody pack, and she's letting everybody know how they know each other. This is a friend that Melody has mentioned on her live several times. So this is the 6th season. This is the first time Melody was able to bring on, I guess maybe she's had her on before, but I don't think she's had speaking roles. This is the first time she's been able to bring her best friend to the show and have her engage with her. And I thought that was really cool. But she's letting her know, number one, you weren't at my name changing ceremony, and I don't appreciate that, child. She was like, now, where were you again? And she's letting her know, I was at my niece's sweet 16, and she couldn't miss it, is what she said. Sweet 16, couldn't miss it. But you can have another name changing ceremony if you like. Okay, maybe I'll come to that one. That's how she put it. I was like, that is hilarious. But Melody said, no, why don't we nix the name changing ceremony? You've been through a lot with me, childbirth, marriage. You've been through everything, all of these milestones that I've done in my life. How about you help me find the next one? Okay. And Melody said, listen, I don't think I want anybody in Huntsville. First, they started picking the things. She was like, you know what I like, right? And Brittany said, yes, you like a man, like touch is your love language. She was like, exactly. But she said, I don't think I want anything in Alabama. I'm done. So they were like, let's start looking at men outside of Alabama. We want them to be at least 6'2". We don't want there to be any second guessing. When you put on a pair of stilettos, I need you to still be shorter than your date. Okay. But Melody said, listen, I think I got international vagina. Okay. If necessary, we're going to go out the country for the next one. Okay. And yeah, if I missed something, y'all let me know. But she was very, very open to dating, it sounds like. And it sounds like she's also setting up the journey to move forward in her dating life. Okay. So really sweet scene, like funny, just, two friends being friends. And it was good to see. Then the next up, the scenes weren't that long this time. Next up was Chris and Nell Fletcher. I only got the back of Nell's head. Chris and Nell Fletcher. Chris actually shows up at the daycare. Nell's doing some paperwork, and he's bringing her something. I guess maybe some baby food or something. I don't know. She tells him, make sure you come back through and sit down because we need to talk. And they basically rehash what happened, right? They rehash what happened with the kids. And you can tell that Nell is heartbroken. She's heartbroken that she is the bad guy with the kids, that they don't think they can come to her unless they are asking her for money. And then when they are asking her for money, they're taking advantage of her because they don't pay her back. They don't understand what she has to go through to keep them okay. She feels like she worries over them quite a bit for them to be adults. And she's like, I'm at a place where I don't want to do it in the way I've been doing it. I'm ready to make a change. So if they don't want to talk to me or come to me about certain things, maybe I should pull back, which isn't the answer either, because just because you say it doesn't mean that's how that's going to be the actual action. You're still going to feel, you're still going to want to participate in their lives. You're still going to want to know what they're doing, all of those things. So cutting them off isn't the best policy either. And then Chris says to her, I love all my kids. And even though Nell had made that little snappy remark about Lexi when he went, Lexi's my daughter, I love her. And she was like, well, that's on you. That's you, because I'm pretty much tired. She did sing a different tune during that scene where she said, I love Lexi. I love all of our children. We just got to make some different choices to be a better family so that we can communicate better. Because as we all saw, the end of that dinner scene ended with everybody saying, I'm gonna whoop somebody's ass, or F you, or F you. I don't give a F. It was an interesting time to say the least. And I say that not as somebody who feels like that was a bad scene or I'm better than the scene, because I've seen that all my life. I told y'all before, it's just me and my sister, but my mother comes from a really big family. She came from a really big family, and they would go at it all the damn time. Okay. But yeah, they end up saying that them, the couple who people see as having it all together and coming to them for counseling, will now be going to counseling. So yeah, that was a nice scene. 415 of you are in the chat. Okay. Please hit that like button and then also become a subscriber. Okay. Dan Pam said what? Let me get your message up here, child, because I can't see that well. I had to pull back from a child before. Sometimes we have to put yourself first. And love from afar, especially when you have done a lot and they are still doing things that they shouldn't. Well, that's what we're about to find out. And I understand that, but I also know that pulling back doesn't mean you don't worry over them and all of those things. And you have to make that a habit too, just like the habit you picked up where you're taking care of everything. You got to make cutting them off a habit, because it's really hard to break. So I totally understand, but they did say that they would go to counseling, and I wonder who they're going to bring in. A lot of people have been missing Dr. Francis, so I wonder if he will be someone that is considered, or if they give us somebody completely new. But yeah, it'd be great to see Dr. Francis though, but I'm sure he's probably tired. He may be tired, right? All right. Let's see. 419 of you are in the chat. Go ahead and hit that like button, please, and thank you. I appreciate y'all. And thank you to all of the mods for making sure that you are keeping that message posted. Okay. And then the last scene, you guys, was Miss Stormy. We're at Miss Stormy's house. We're at one of the guest houses, I guess, on her property. I don't know if she has one or more than one, but she decided to film in her guest property the same way Candy Burris does on Real Housewives of Atlanta. She said they never film in my main house. So she has brought Kiki over. She's waiting for Tiffany to arrive. And then in this scene, we find out that Kiki said she's blocked Tisha and she is done. She said, I'm done with them. She gives her history. She said, since I've been 13 years old, I've been dealing with Tisha and all of these things. And you can see that it kind of took Stormy by surprise. She doesn't say much. She's letting her get it out, but it did make her pause a little bit. Like, are you serious? Like, because, again, for us at home, it seems like y'all just are angry and y'all could get this together. Hey, Tasha. But whew, she has that hard time going on with Tisha in that part of the family. And now she is trying to see if she can make things better with her and Tiffany. But she's also not for the bullshit, even though, Stormy's saying to her, listen, y'all could probably be cool. I understand what's going on. Things seem to have gotten bad after Tiffany had went and did the Carlos King interview. Prior to that, y'all was cool. Like nothing seemed that bad. The magazine party with Martell, y'all were fine. When we did this, y'all were fine. Then all of a sudden, y'all really went out of your, it really went out of control. And yeah, Kiki said, listen, I hate to have to teach your ass a lesson, but if it happens, it happens. And she's hot and sweaty. The methadone has got her blood pressure up. So it's very possible anything could happen, but she's going to show it with that damn baby, which might be the best thing for Kiki. Okay. We don't want a whole lot going on. Let's see. Diana, I want to know why Lexi called the woman Lance married old girl when she complained about not being invited. Child, listen, like I said, when they said come and be yourselves, they took it for serious. Not one person was like, you know what, I'm just going to be cool. The way all them kids, including the niece, started popping off and F her, she get on my effing nerves. I wish I could have smacked the shit out of her. Nobody likes Lexi. And I'm saying this is just as a viewer. I already said there's always one person in big families who just have a completely different perception of life growing up in that family. Lexi appears to be that one. But also at that point, they were all ganging up on her. And sometimes you just got to let a person talk. All the way to the end. So I know she was already in the car, but I know she had to have been crying when Chris told her to get the F out. I mean, that hurt my damn feelings. But anyway, y'all, we are about to get to it. Okay. I am reading comments, but I'm about to drop the link. And if there's anybody who would like to come up, it's open panel. If you'd like to come up and discuss anything you saw on the show, if you have some personal experiences you'd like to share about kiddos or family dynamics, please do. But yeah, Lexi is going to be one of the people that everybody wants to follow. Like I said, at the end of the day, even when I think his name is Lance, that would be Nell's oldest son, right? When he said, "I didn't pay you, do you think you deserve to be paid?" I was like, did you really withhold that boy's check? Even if you didn't think he did what he was supposed to do, give him his check. Why would you play him like that? But it was just interesting how they all handle each other. And then Chris Jr. looks like he has a lot going on too. So I'm looking forward to seeing Chris say next week, "I love you. There's nothing I would not help you with. You're my son." He was tearing up. The way he handled Lexi, or attempted to handle Lexi at the very beginning, when he was like, "Listen, I was young. I was trying to figure my life out too. And I can't say I did everything right. But when I did do it, I did it." Okay, Diana, you don't work, you don't eat. But he said he came to work. The only thing he didn't like him doing is that he was sitting on the truck, and he thought that his behavior may have made the other people sit on the truck. That's your job as a boss, to tell him to get off the damn truck. You don't not pay him his check. I'm gonna call somebody on him. Okay, give that boy back his money. He need his dogs back. He can't pay his mama. All right, so look, I just put the join link into the chat if you would like to come up and talk about tonight's episode, which, by the way, I did not rate, so let me rate it. It gets a 10. I give it a whole 10. It was a good episode. I loved it. Okay, from the very beginning. Listen, that was episode 8. So episode 7 and 8, we are introduced to the Fletchers. And right now they are stealing the show. Okay. They are stealing the damn show. What else was going on? Just literally every scene. We didn't get, who this time either. The Scotts. Now we'll get them next week, but that's 2 episodes with none of the Scotts. Not a one. Not a nan, nada. Okay. Hey, what is up, Chica? How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
I'm good. What are your thoughts on tonight's episode? First, what do you rate the show? Uh-oh.
I guess it'll be a Lord 9.3.
A 9.3. Okay. Is that your true feelings? Listen, give me your honest thoughts on what you rate the show.
All right, I was gonna say 8.5 at first.
Okay. 8.5 is still fine. Looking, you don't have to go high for me.
Because you something else. Baby.
Cut it out.
I don't want to talk about the whole show because Stormy part, it was kind of boring,
Okay.
Whatever. I don't know. It's just sometimes she's weird and sometimes she's not.
Oh, okay.
Kiki, I really can't say too much about Kiki. I want to see next week. They gave us the last 3-4 minutes of that scene, so it's really nothing much to say about Kiki until next week.
Mm-hmm.
Side note, next week,
yes,
Big Lou is about to give Tiffany that ultimatum. I'm down for that.
I saw it.
Okay, and Martell has the audacity. In layman's terms, this is what he said. He said, I don't let no woman talk to me like that. That's pretty much what he said when he was talking to about Nell and him.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was in that confessional and said, basically is what he said, Chris just coming to me to make Nell happy. I said, that's a husband. He's
Right.
supposed to check you.
Listen.
Not just to make Nell happy so he can put you in check about going at his wife. Martell
Correct.
is so crazy. Anyway, that was enough of that. The Fletchers.
Yes.
Okay, so I understand, kind of like understand both sides. Lexi probably really not conveying her feelings like she should. She probably don't know how. And I seen somebody in the comments say, you know, this probably like their first time having a dinner or any type of conversation or whatever. So she probably not really saying how she feel in the correct way, because all that kiss my butt and all that, it would have been a whole fight in my kitchen. If my
Correct.
daughter would have said something like that to me, because, you know, whether you grown or not, you still give me some type of respect, especially in my house. Don't do that. And
Right.
please don't act crazy for these cameras up in here.
Right. Right.
I also felt how Nell felt, because I am a mother of an adult daughter. However, you know, sometimes we can counsel other kids, other people, friends, co-workers, and give them all the advice and help them out. But when it comes to our own family, especially the children, it's
Mm-hmm.
they have a hard time listening to us as parents. And I think because the children feel like there's no limit to how they treat us. That's how I feel.
There's that little part in life, you have that gap area between your 20s and 30s where you don't really get. You're still I like to call that phase toddler in the world. Okay, that's how it was described to me. You are a toddler in the world and you think you know every damn thing and you want to blame everybody for the choices that you're making right here and right now. You are responsible for your own life. And that is where a counselor comes in, somebody to guide you in those steps, because right now those kids appear on the outside looking in. Those kids are entitled as hell. They are entitled as hell, and they think that their mama and daddy have it and they can get it whenever they want. They don't care what their decisions are. Now it looks like Lance may be trying to make some good decisions, but he's still, at the end of the day, they all still have that same mentality. The daughter, niece, and all of the children, to be honest. And especially if you see somebody messing up all the time, you gonna think, well, if they mess up, then I know you're gonna help me if I mess up, because I don't do it as much as them, or whatever the case may be. But for them to have taken all of their adult kids on vacations, you know what I'm saying? All of that stuff, that's money.
I agree. I agree. And
They
I
expect
think
she was like, we bought y'all luxury cars. You're getting Mercedes Benzes, BMWs. Like, I was sitting there like, ooh, that's crazy. That's crazy. That
I
all of
agree with that.
mm-mm.
Diana?
I hear you, honey.
Oh, okay. No, I thought I had some feedback. I'm sorry. But I agree with what you're saying. I call on my end, I call it children being cheeky, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you want me to provide even when you're not doing right. But I felt Nell when she was like, you know, they gotta come on, pretty much, you know, get up and do your own thing. How much parenting should I parent after you get a certain age? Now I'll help you out, but don't keep leaning on me. That's a lot. That is a lot for Nell.
Correct.
She got
And
all those kids.
they handle her different than they handle their father. She was like, they don't even pay me back. They pay you back. Like, there is no respect on my end. They just think I'm the one that fixes it and I don't need it. They don't care what it is that I'm doing. But at least with Chris, they pay him back, or they're clear about how they come to him with their problems. They don't do it with her.
The fact that they said Nell do too much, or she don't do too much when she handing out that money. I didn't
Right.
like that. You know, that's what you call cheeky. You
Mm-hmm.
want to fuss at how she behaved, want to have a comment about how she behaved, but you don't say all that when you calling and asking for help.
Right.
Now,
Right.
my last thing, I'm gonna be out because I hear some feedback.
Okay.
Chris is very quiet, right?
He.
However, you can see that he have that potential to smack somebody, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So, and other than that, that was it. It was good that the Scots wasn't on there because I didn't. What they gonna talk about? Nothing important. Um, the Fletchers. I love the Fletchers. I love the whole dynamics at the table. Whatever. We probably won't see all of them again. Uh, coming up. I don't know. We may. I don't know. But I like that whole little dynamics right there with everything. That give us stuff to discuss. You know.
Does. I agree. I agree. I like it. I agree with everything you said. I like the dynamics with the Fletchers. I also like that they're honest. Like when they were in confessional and Nell said, what happened at that dinner table has separated us yet again with Lexi. We're even further back when we were actually making leeway, which I knew that was going to happen. But she was like, the last time I saw y'all was in November of last year, child. I was like, oh my God, listen. And I know they taped this, sometime before July, because I think that's when they close the season. But that's a long time. But y'all live in the same little ass Huntsville. Like, what is going on?
So why she can't roll up to her mama house? It's not like she don't know where it's at. Don't make it seem like they're not reaching out or you're reaching out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. She said that they just have a hard time with her in particular, but she doesn't. You heard all of them at the table say, "You block me, you block me, you block me too." We try to call you, we try to involve you. You separate yourself from us, and you do it on purpose, and we're tired of victim. So, getting her to go to counseling, if they can, because the way Nell put it is after that scene, we haven't heard from her. We're even further back than we were. We try to make a connection. We try to make some leeway. And she said, I thought we had squashed this car business, but that's the thing that keeps coming up. You never bought me a car. So,
Now
yeah.
watch this. I bet you if they buy a car, everything gonna die down. I don't like that. Don't try to put them on blast. I thought she was about to say something else. I thought it was gonna be something else. But if it's about a car, I need her to come up with something better than that. Tell the whole story, the real story, or whatever in your heart said. Don't just, get crazy. But I'm about to go. Nell looked beautiful in that confessional. She looks so good.
Yeah, she was pretty. I agree. I agree. It's a
All
good
right.
show. It was a good show. Thank you, Ty.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. Hi, Courtney. Uh-oh.
Hi, I'm always slow about unmuting. Sorry. Hi, Diana. Hi, Chat.
How are you?
Um,
What's
I
what's
would
your rating first?
rate it 8.5. It
Okay.
was really good. I enjoyed it. I thought the Fletchers are refreshing to me. I don't have a whole lot to say about this episode, but I
Okay.
do want to say, whatever they're doing in this second half, whatever meetings they had, whoever they put in charge, I don't know what they did different, but this is kind of it's making me interested in the show again. I'm not angry with the show. I'm just enjoying watching, the dynamics and what they're doing this time. So
Me
I'm enjoying it.
too.
Lexi, I need to know a little bit more of the backstory with Lexi.
Okay.
Like, what was her mother's financial standing? Um, what was the co-parent? Was it a rough co-parenting relationship for a while
Mm-hmm.
with Chris and her mother? Um, because there's no manual to parenthood.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of just are winging it as parents and hopefully doing the best that we can for our children. I'm just wondering those dynamics. If she, you know, I don't know if her mother wasn't as wealthy as they were, um, and being that she didn't live in the home with them, sometimes it looks like, the inside children are getting more, but it's just because you're not there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. So I just a little more backstory on Lexi.
I hope we get a little more backstory too. I hope that's what I was saying. I hope that that what she experienced there didn't run her off, because I think that her voice is important. She has a voice that's in every family, and it is just as important, even though it can wear people down, child.
Right.
It can wear people down, but it's important because people need to know how to handle those things. But it was interesting to see how the siblings, her brothers and sisters, and the what is she? The niece, the daughter niece,
Right.
how all of them was like, they all came after her like a sibling at one point, but they were like, we have all tried to be your friend. We have all tried to keep you in the loop of what was going on in this house. And we have, you blocked all of us. You won't take our calls. You didn't invite us to your wedding. Like all of the things.
Right.
And just her sitting here like, you guys are making this up. And then even Neil in confessional saying, I don't know at this point if she is lying to lie or if she really believes this shit, because it didn't happen. And I was like, oh my gosh, they got serious family drama.
And I was thinking like Lexi, as far as like the counseling, when they brought up the family counseling, I think that would be a great idea. But Lexi also seems to need like individual counseling. And I'm not saying she's the problem, because again, I don't have enough of backstory to judge, and her, she is entitled to her feelings, and she's entitled to, vocalize her feelings. I just think she needs individual counseling because she's an adult now. So whatever has happened, let's figure out in this adulthood how to work through it. And then one day, and then maybe the conversation, when they come together for the conversation, the tone can be set a little different once she gets those feelings out and feels heard. So, I do hope that, they do the family counseling, and I do hope that she maybe gets some individual counseling to work through those feelings. But it was raw. It was authentic. It was refreshing. I've been saying for a long time, and this is just my personal opinion, the Scotts, one of them needs to go. These two Scott-free episodes have been good. I think all reality shows have to shake it up after so long, because it can get stale. And I'm just liking the energy that's being brought by the Fletchers. They're entertaining, they're authentic, they're raw. It reminds me of Martell and Mel when they were raw with their story. So with telling their story, so it's like bringing that aspect back is very interesting. So I enjoyed that scene a lot. I enjoyed even seeing Brittany. You could tell Brittany was a little nervous in her scene, but I was happy to see, and I hope they bring her on more. I'm happy, and so she gets comfortable. I want to see Mel with a real friend on the show, like a friend that she had, not Martell's friends, but Mel's friend. So I like that aspect.
She said before that her friends didn't want to be on the show.
Right.
And I can see how that in Love and Marriage Huntsville in particular would be hard to ask for.
Right.
It's just
right.
I'm sorry, but there is a different audience with this particular show.
Definitely.
With this show,
you have to have thick skin, to be honest.
Exactly. So I can see how you would be on one day and you're just like, oh, I'm never coming back.
Right.
Okay. So she's probably afraid of that.
Right.
So if we could just give Brittany a break, please. Don't anybody go investigating her background. Let her tell. Okay. But yeah, so that's the thing. But
it was just good to see Mel with somebody, familiar to her, as real friend.
It was good to see her with someone. I like that. And like, for instance, I was just about to say, when we get the scene with Martell, he has a ready-made group of folk. Like, didn't take him long. Brother get out of prison on Monday, and he on the show on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But he's on the show on Tuesday, and the uncles are there. Everybody, helping him. So he has a little background noise every once in a while to help him out.
I was going to say for Martell, it's audacity for me.
What was the audacity tonight?
It's just that Martell is delusional. Like, if delusional was a person, it's Martell.
Yes.
Like, you calling Chris up, think like you get out. You were supposed to be out those people's house a long time ago. Like nobody owes you anything. You
Nobody.
are a grown man.
Yes. See, now this is what I'm talking about. And I'm not gonna lie. I know people are like, you're a grown man. I hate to see this, but listen, with everything that we just saw, with this P. Diddy craziness,
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't think people understand. Sometimes you see someone, you think they're in a nice package and that you
Mm-hmm.
can work with them to be a certain way. This is really giving you a good inside look at the dynamics of someone, and also how their male friends respond to them. Are
Mm-hmm.
you making this person responsible for themselves? The fact that this man stayed in this house for 8 months
Yes.
after he was told to leave, from because they literally showed when Chris put the sign in the yard, tapped it down, okay, and was like,
Yes.
came in and said, "This house is for sale. You got to get the hell out." 8 months ago, that was crazy. And then Martell said, "Listen, I ain't going nowhere until I find some place to go."
And the audacity, like who
The
Martell has it.
audacity.
Martell is too much for me. Um, so
Mhm.
I was looking at that saying like Martell, please.
Martell,
Um,
please.
and Stormy, a lot of people don't like Stormy, but I
Mhm.
do want to say I am liking Stormy this half. Like I don't I think when I took out the fact that like the stuff outside of the show that we know about Stormy, and I didn't like how she did Mel after coming on the show. I still don't. But watching the show, she's entertaining me. She's not to me, she's not boring. So I mean I'm like,
I'm
don't
with
kill me
you.
in the comments, but I got
No, I'm going to say this. I had to make decisions about how I looked at people on the show because it
Mhm.
can really drag you down. The show
Right.
is the show, and then some of the stuff that's happening outside with people,
Right.
that's their personal shit that they may not be bringing to the show
Mhm.
just yet. And sometimes things happen after they finish filming that they have to decide to bring to the show.
Right.
But I'll say this, her energy is different this season.
Mhm.
And I don't know if it's because she had enough happen where what she's filming on camera doesn't feel like a big deal, which is okay. Like
Right.
Courtney still has a smile all the way back to his ears. And I'm like, okay, we're filming a show, but
Mhm.
I don't feel that from Stormy as much. I definitely don't feel it from Tiffany. So next week when we get that conversation with her and Lou, where he's like, we're gonna have to make some decisions because this shouldn't be this hard, which really feels to me, I ain't gonna lie, but it feels like she's asking him for help and he's saying, if you can film the show, you can watch the baby.
Right.
And I don't like that shit either. She should
Right.
be able to do what she listen. I think Lewis is might be just doing a little too much, but I'm gonna reserve my comments until
Yeah,
next.
I'm definitely ready to see next week. I'm ready to see that conversation with Tiffany and Lou. But as far as Stormy, like I totally agree with everything that you said. I had to pull back so much. Now I still love a good, what they're doing outside of the show, but I had to look at it from a different lens as I'm not taking it to the show. If you
Yeah,
get what
don't
I'm
take it
saying,
to
like
the show.
when
I
I'm looking at the show, I'm
agree.
looking at the show. Outside of the show, now we can talk about that all day and talk trash and laugh and giggle, but I'm not bringing it to the show where I can't enjoy the show anymore because it had gotten to that point for me. Like I couldn't enjoy the show because I was everything outside of the show. And
It got
so
to
when I
be
let that go, I mean, the show, it's a totally different lens. And I think people will enjoy it more if they start just looking at it for what they're getting on the screen versus everything else. But I'm enjoying this second half. I'm enjoying, what everybody's bringing. I enjoyed the Scots not being on.
Mhm.
So next week we'll see Tisha
You should pretend to be
pretend
pregnant.
right. She said the same thing, pretending that she's pregnant. But
Right.
yeah, so,
Somebody had to remind her, child, is this really a storyline? Because you had a vasectomy. Okay.
right. So yeah, but I've been enjoying this second half.
Yes,
So
me too. Me
yeah.
too. Okay, girl. Yeah, it's been a great second half. I agree. I really like the addition of the Fletchers. I'm so happy they are comfortable. I agree that Brittany looked like she was just a little bit like, "Oh, are we doing this?" But I think she'll get into it.
Right.
Um, and I'm looking forward to seeing Melody be open about her dating journey
Yeah.
um, on the show. I'm looking forward to that. Listen, y'all, we still have a whole lot of episodes. The preview showed Melody in the hot tub talking about Martell never giving her a big O. Never had one with him. So we still got that coming up. What else do we have coming up? The two of them sitting down for what we don't know, but we have to see why her and Martell sit down. Maybe somebody knows, but don't say it in the comments because I don't want to. I really try not to get any spoilers, but Martell and her are going to sit down for something where he brings the roses. He's wearing that damn wedding ring that she had given him. I think she said back in 2008. So that's still a scene that we need that's going to come up. Then whatever he's doing in the house, which sounds pretty crazy. I thought the trip was this week. I guess not. And then I guess we get to see what this big Houston thing was. If you guys know, again, don't say anything. But whatever is going to happen in Houston, that's going to cause all of this wackiness with Kiki, right? Something's supposed to go down with Kiki in Houston, or maybe she doesn't make it to Houston. I don't know. Either she made it to Houston and was asked to go home, something crazy. So we have to see what that is. I'm just making this up, by the way, from what I heard. We'll just have to figure it out. But everybody else is in the comments saying pretty much the same thing. Stormy might be more comfortable with how to work in front of the camera now. And I wonder if Stormy is thinking about how she messed up her friendship with Mel. That may explain her shift as well. So I want to say this too. There's something happening behind the scenes, y'all, that feels also a little more cohesive and relaxed. Melody and her mother have never unfollowed Stormy. Stormy has never unfollowed them. I know there was something going on where they were like, who's the funniest people on the show? And Melody's mom had actually said Stormy, and I think she might have said Melody, or who gives the best reads or something like that. And she said Stormy and Mel maybe. But I feel like they're trying to work things out and get in a place where they're better. And I think we should try to be better with them too. Because all of that craziness and turmoil, we're taking that on. I'm not, but some people are taking it on, and it can feel heavy. I think CK is trying to produce a 30-episode season, which is crazy. They're currently filming a 30-episode season. They've been doing that for the last, I think, 2 or 3 seasons. This might be their 3rd season doing 30 episodes. I remember when they said we're doing 15 episodes per half. So we're already getting them. It's still considered OWN's #1 show. Still considered OWN's #1 show. What else are you guys saying? It's possible. I don't see it for Stormy. So some people still don't see it for Stormy. It's okay. Apparently Houston was terrible for everybody. You think? I mean, didn't we see them get on like the mechanical bull, and they're going to have a good time. They're riding horses. So I don't know, y'all. We have to see. I don't miss the Scotts at all. Well, we're going to get them next week, child. They're also not promoting. Oops, I lost Courtney. They're also not promoting the show the same. So, Melody has been promoting some of the episodes on her IG stories, on her IG page, but we haven't seen any of the Scotts promote the stories in the same way. So who knows? We haven't heard from Martell either. So, I mean, outside of whatever he's doing, on his personal time. No wonder I don't watch every episode. It's too much for my brain. Yeah, it's okay. That right now, season 6B, I'm standing firm, even though Ty tried to, get at me a little bit. This still is the best season for me. And I still feel like season 6B is very reminiscent of what we had in seasons 1 and 2. I feel like they're bringing us a more cohesive story from everybody. And it looks like if the Scotts aren't giving, they're replacing the Scotts. They're giving us people who are giving us storylines. And that's okay too. People get tired of the same, story. So at least you guys have been saying that. Anyway, with an excessive amount of episodes in the season, I'm not understanding why they filmed the reunion so soon. So if you guys remember, a lot of people do this. They filmed the reunion same time last year, filmed the reunion right after they stopped filming. That gives them an opportunity to I guess since the season is still fresh, they wrapped in July, they filmed in October. So season is still fresh. They come in, they do the job, and then the rest of the seasons play out. We should, at this moment, be seeing if they're going to get renewed for season 7, because they should start filming, like, I think next month for season 7, if that's the case. I am wondering if Lexi feels the way she does because she may not have had a chance to physically grow up in the house with Chris and Neil, unlike the other 3 children. This is just a theory. You probably are right. Listen, all my mama's brothers and sisters lived in the same house with them. They were still, I had an auntie who was very similar to what I'm watching with Lexi. She would remember things completely different from the rest of the family. They'd be sitting around like talking about their childhood or whatever, and they'd be laughing. And I mean, belly laughter, double over laughter. And she would start crying. She would start crying because she was like, that didn't happen. This is what you guys did. And I was like, whoa. And I was a child when they would tell those stories. And I would be like, damn, you don't remember any of it? You have a completely different memory. But yes, the Scotts are going to float that ridiculous, teacher pregnancy mess next week. Yes, we have to see. I'm going to tell you, I might find that scene actually funny because I can't believe Tisha actually peed on a stick. Okay, girl, you are not pregnant at all. Stormy lacks originality, and I'm tired of seeing her repeat whatever Melody does. She'd be better off focusing on whatever happened with herself. Are you talking about, you guys were saying that the other day. When did she copy Melody? I am so confused. Mel had a conversation with who? Was it, are you guys talking about the dinner that Melody had where Nell, Kiki, and Tiffany were invited? Is that the dinner? Was Tiffany actually invited to that dinner? I don't remember. Y'all can talk to me in the comments. But I remember her having a dinner and asking everybody to be cool. But since that dinner, more things have happened that really still drove a wedge between them. They've been saying that for a little bit. And Stormy said it last night. I mean, said it on tonight's show that there was another incident that happened that drew a wedge between you guys. Y'all remember when Stormy first came on, she had her song bowls and what else? You know, she was doing all the meditation and stuff. She was supposed to be like the person you went to for your healing, right? Let's see. Tisha forgot Marceau had a V. I think she did, child. I think she like literally went to the store and said, this is what I'm doing. She knows better. Okay. Listen, I think that I got everybody's questions and things. How can Tisha be pregnant? How can Tisha be pregnant? Because she said on the episode that Marceau was fixed. Right. Marceau has been fixed for a minute, so we all know better, right? We have different. Let's see. At Glam Rock, because we love differently. Oh my goodness, that's for somebody else. My bad. I have a sister that's just like Lexi. It was cringe watching this, and it doesn't matter what my dad did. Ooh, she still acted a fool, and we always bumped heads. Okay, child. That is funny. My sister and I have different memories about a lot of stuff. No, I shouldn't even say about a lot of stuff. It's about one particular situation. I won't tell all the business, but pretty much everything else we agree on. I'm happy it's just the two of us because damn, it'll be problematic if it wasn't, I'm sure. One more thing. What's the one more thing, child? Let me know. She's still hee hee ha ha and little mama's forgive Wiggly. Stormy has caused problem between Kiki and Tiffany so she can make it seem as if she needed and got them back together. Oh my God, y'all gonna make me cry tears. Oh, I can't. Love and Marriage is on the last knee. It's not season. Its kids are not on the show. It's on the last knee. It's not season. Its kids are not on the show. I'm assuming you're saying that you don't like that the Eminem kids are on the show. Maybe that's what you're saying. I'm sorry, I couldn't really decipher that message. Yeah. I don't know. I still think that this is a better show. I think it's more relatable at the moment, but we will see. We'll see what happens next. But right now I do think that the Fletchers have given new life to the show that was not there before, for sure. They are still at it too. Okay. You guys, I think this wraps it up for tonight. Okay, it was great. We are still going to do a sister review. Me and my sister will do a sister review on tonight's episode. But you guys have been amazing, as you always are. Okay. Thank you to all of my moderators for keeping the chat jumping, and thank you to everybody who joined tonight, became a part of the channel, or a member of the channel, or of for me, you see me saying rum to child. What are you saying? You see me saying rum 2024. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Tell me. Rum 2024 means what? Love the sister reviews. Thank y'all. You guys give us such compliments. Y'all give us like the best compliments on the sister reviews. We just be talking, child. More me than anybody. But she likes doing them. She had to warm up, but you guys were brutal at the very beginning. But she likes to warm. She had to warm up. It takes some time to talk to a screen. You're in a room by yourself, just talking. If you grew up at a certain time in the world, you were told that talking to yourself makes you crazy. So for people like me, I'm thinking this isn't what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to talk to yourself. So cut me a little slack, cut my sister a little slack. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank y'all. I appreciate you. Hit the like button on your way out, please. The subscribe button, notification bell, share the video, and we will talk again very soon. Okay. Good night, everybody.